my ladies and pretty gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of Look What's Happening in the Spirit Realm with yours truly, Light. This is what I'm going to start this message with because it's very dense. You can either have false love or you can have growth, but you can't have both. The energy I'm picking up on today is very convoluted. It's a pyramid scheme of a sort. There is a person here. This is a person I'm going to be referring to as the orchestrator. And there is a false lover of theirs who believes they're a real partner. And there's you, the make-believe false partner, false lover. You are a glue, a bond, so to speak. So if the triangle is like this, you're holding the bond somewhere in the triangle, but you're nowhere to be seen. And I'm gonna break this down. This is not a message for everyone. This is a message for someone in the collective that maybe recently, or perhaps even years ago, a couple of years ago, maybe a year ago, or 6 months ago, somewhere around that kind of time frame. It could even be 3 to 5 years, but I'm not picking up on something humongously long term, but it could be on very, very, very rare occasions. There was somebody, this orchestrator, who studied you for quite a long time. Now, I'm not going to get into who this person is, what they belong to, because I've made several videos on that and I'm not going to get into it. I've referred to them in my blogs as the collector as well. Whoever this person is, they've attempted to co-sign themselves onto your inheritance, onto your belongings, especially spiritually speaking. And it wasn't because they wanted you as a life partner or as a lover. It's because they saw you as an asset. And what's interesting here, the reason why this message is even showing up is because of the karmic or their false lover, the person that they primed to play the role in their life of a version of you that spirit can recognize as a complete understanding or a complete ritual. Because whoever this person is, for a very long time, maybe for a short time for some of you, but I'm getting for a good chunk of time, you were under the impression and that they were your partner or that they were your loved one in some kind of respect. And for some of you, this could be a parasitic family member. But you were under this illusion, and when you were, duplicitously might I add, this person was using access to you or the access that you were giving them willingly, or maybe even under false impression, as a way to co-sign your belongings, your spirit, your, I don't want to use this like blanket term inheritance because it's very vague, your command, your ancestral backing, or something that you're supposed to do on this earth. They used access to you as a way to co-sign partnership in the spirit. And what I heard today was the spiritual, I don't want to call them gatekeepers because they're quite different. Let's not get into that quite yet. But the way they had this contract set up was, for a while, they were actually enjoying a lot of like prosperity right alongside you, might I add, right alongside you. And because you were under the illusion of the identity that they've given you to believe in, you didn't know to fight this person. You didn't know to remove access from them and keep it to yourself. You didn't quite know that. And because of that, this person was kind of priming this karmic energy around them. And it's a feminine energy, male or female. They were priming this karmic energy to pretty much invest all their time and effort into them, into the orchestrator. And they could have built a family, they could have built a lot of things with this person. And what I'm getting today is, ever since you withdrew your energy from this orchestrator, they weren't able to tap into the same inheritance, the same energetic source that they were siphoning. They weren't able to do that. And that's exactly when the attack started on you. It's not because you were necessarily not being attacked when you were believing a false identity of this person. It was that your withdrawal was seen by their karmic energy as an attack on them. And this is the reason why. Whoever this karmic energy is, I believe they know, because that is who's attacking you if you're being attacked in any kind of way. This karmic energy, they know, she or he knows, that what this orchestrator gave them was not something that they had of their own. It was something that they were borrowing from you. It was something that was never intended for them, spiritually speaking. And I'm getting whoever allowed this person to sort of be attached to you in the spirit realm, I'm getting a very duplicitous ancestor who co-signed this, because whoever this person is, they had to tap into your ancestral root. They had to get validation from someone in order to benefit as a co-inheritor, in order to benefit from the energetic source that you're naturally tapped into. They had to have some kind of cosigner, whether it is living or dead, an ancestral cosigner of a sort that belonged to you. Whoever this messy ancestor is, they've definitely been checked and set to the side. And the minute, I'm gonna say this, the minute shit hit the fan, right? Excuse my language, the minute something hit the fan, the mess hit the fan, this orchestrator they prepared for this failure. That's what I'm hearing. They prepared for this failure. That is why the triangle exists. Because the minute you, the person that they siphoned from, because it's not the first time that they've done this, mind you, this is someone who does this. They took time to study you in order to create a false bond with you to begin with. When the triangle collapsed, this person scathed free. That's kind of how this, it's not that they scathed free, but they are scathing free because the karmic, their actual false lover that invested their time and energy, the person who was primed to play a false role in this orchestrator's life, blames you. They don't understand that this was the part of the scheme, that whoever this orchestrator is preemptively created a false safe of a sort. When messes hit the fan, that they would not be a target in some kind of way of the backlash to follow. And whoever this karmic energy is, this is what I'm getting. They know, they're not confused. They know that you're not the one who's attacking anybody. They know that. They know they were sharing in something that was yours because you didn't fully claim it and take it away from the orchestrator. You didn't fully claim it and say, no, I don't allow access to people under false pretenses. And when you did that, this karmic energy wanted to assume authority over that decision. And this is the energy that I picked up on yesterday. They've used either an animal or a human jawbone in order to assert some type of dominance. I'm gonna say like an animal for safety purposes, in order to assert dominance and to control your voice, to control your authority, because jaw, I believe it's also biblical. Jaws are seen as a source of authority, a source of divine inheritance. I actually have notes. Memory, they're also seen as a devouring, symbolically speaking. This is all symbolic. They're also seen as a devouring source of mimicry, but most importantly, they're seen as a false inheritance channel to prevent you from testifying or to own the voice of the person who is in the spiritual authority. It's kind of like the spiritual version of the power of attorney, except it's completely illegal. It's completely unidentified by spirit, and it's absolutely parasitic. But the reason why this karmic is doing this is because whoever the orchestrator is has abandoned them and ran off. And it seems like to them, when they look around, you're doing fine. You're doing fine. You're not accessible in the way that you used to be. And subconsciously they knew this orchestrator was this fake false person of theirs was using you in order to give them the life that they're now accustomed to, right? Life of luxury, life of luxury. And when all of it fell apart, this orchestrator abandoned this karmic. That's what I'm hearing. They abandoned them completely. And as they did, because deep down this karmic person, he or she knows that whatever they were eating up, whatever they were benefiting from, was never the orchestrators to give to them. And the first person that was on their mind was you. And they are attempting to override a decision that you made in the spirit to cut off access to this person, because they believe that if they have the authority to give to this person the way that they stole from you, then maybe this person will come back to them. Maybe they will undo the heartbreak. Maybe they will restart the family. Maybe they will work things out for them. Maybe they will have a reunion. That's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm seeing of this person. So they're trying to exert authority over what you have already sealed in the spirit in order to claim this false lover of theirs. This is under the pretense of necessity. That's what I'm seeing. It's not that this karmic person wants to take the responsibility, the authority, and the life that your spirit team and your ancestors have ordained for you to walk into. It's not just that, it's that they're fixated on how this orchestrator used them. And it's like they're seeing themselves as very, very much lacking value in a way, because deep down they're running from this truth. The fact that they didn't mean anything to this person. They were a ritual seal of a sort. Like they were a tool for this orchestrator to complete this ritual in order for this orchestrator to live a life. Because what they're going to do more likely than not is rush into another commitment. This is what this person does. They use a spiritually gifted man or woman as an anchor for them to live the life they want. They create a false bond with that person, and then they run off with somebody else. And then they create this whole loop over and over again. And I don't know if this is somebody who's done this multiple times before, or if this is something that they thought would work for them long term, but this karmic, this message is specifically for you as the collective, and for this karmic, because they're being warned. They need to close this gate. Whatever they're trying to open, they need to close this gate, because it will not end well for them. It will not end well for them. They do not have the authority to supersede on the decision that you've made. And they need to face the actual truth as opposed to running away from it. You are not valueless. If you're watching this and you're that karmic, quote unquote, it's not an offensive term. You're not valueless. That person played you, and it has nothing to do with the collective. It is a you problem. You need to figure it out. You can't override the authority that the collective has in spirit in order to regain the life that was actually never yours. It was an illusion. And this is what I want to leave with this message here. None of the stuff that, closing the notebook, you know what that means. None of the stuff that this karmic believes is true about this person. They believe this identity of them. That is not true. The identity of them that they believe is actually the collective's identity, which is funny, isn't it? It's the collective's identity. So they can't quite make up the difference in their mind as to who to take their anger out on. Because the way that this orchestrator has maneuvered around this symbolic ritual is in an attempt to disempower this person and keep them stuck, to make them into to dwindle them down into a utilitarian tool of ritual execution. And when that time comes that the person that this orchestrator is siphoning from you, when that time comes that you reclaim that source, that channel, and you close the door, they are scathed free. And this karmic, they have to understand they actually have power in this dynamic to bring judgment upon the orchestrator, because they have been in cahoots with them, and perhaps some of them subconsciously they knew the truth, but they didn't want to accept it. But them accepting the truth is what's going to prevent that cycle from repeating again. But instead of doing that, what this karmic has been doing, and this is the pause here, this is the pause here, this is why I saw in the vision a jawbone, because whatever this person is doing, right, spiritually speaking, symbolically speaking, it's trying to override authority, trying to overpower authority, as opposed to claiming their own. And so this is a warning of don't overstep, and also claim the power that is actually yours, which is going to be hard, because you have to do pretty much the same thing the collective did when they realized that this false lover, this false friend, was not a friend at all. They were a thief to them. And you know what? They're also a thief to the karmic, this orchestrator. And this karmic has to take that into account, because they've lost a lot to this person. They've given them a family, they've given them dreams, they've fulfilled certain identities for them, they've vouched for them in public, they've done all these things, they've crossed their own boundaries, they've crossed people that they love, they've crossed their family in order to feed and to support this orchestrator. And they have to, just like an addict, do the 12-step program and heal themselves and stop tinkering with the collective. Stop what you're doing. Mark my words, you need to stop what you're doing. That's all I'm gonna say. Until next time, guys, I hope this resonated, and I actually hope it didn't for a lot of you, because you're in a position of you're in a very annoying position, where people know exactly that you have nothing to do with whatever they're going through, but they're in denial with themselves, and they're using you as a mirror. And this is a message about the mirror having been turned back to the people that need to see themselves clearly. Until next time, guys, I don't reach out, those are scammers. Everything you need to know is in the description box down below. It's so robotic at this time. My book, Sad Girl, please get it if you have not. Keep up, because there's going to be another one soon. My social media platforms, highly recommend you follow me on Threads. If you want a tarot collective reading, this was a channeled reading, a tarot reading, and a whole bunch of mixed up, like, conglomerate reading. This one is specific. Most of my readings on this channel are channeled messages, but if you want specifically just tarot readings, join the membership collective reading. My private readings will be open soon in the shop, but not yet. I'm still kind of healing. And I want to be like up to par without trying to pour from an empty cup, because that's not going to serve anyone, especially not you and me. What else? I feel like I was going to say something. Yeah, until next time.